Should you play Heartworm? Do you miss the older graphics? Do you love fixed camera angles and classic survival horror style of a video game? Then most likely this game would be for you. One of the really cool things about Heartworm is it lets you decide how old school do you want to be and how a little bit more modern do you want to be. You can change with graphics to be more retro or more modern. You can change the controls to be tank controls or modern controls. And how do you want to aim, with tank controls or modern controls? They even have the old school style of opening door animations and waiting for the next area to load. Or if you're like me and you have no patience to wait for a door loading animation screen every time you enter a room, there is an option to turn that off. See how much faster you can get through the rooms without the loading screen? The only modern option I didn't see them offer was a story mode where you just get to explore and enjoy the story and don't have to worry so much about combat and health. But I will say the game is fairly short, so I only struggled in one section being so low on health that I had to redo the previous section, but once you know what you're doing, you can get through it really quickly. And that might have just been a me issue for blowing through health shamefully. The basic plot of this game is that Sam is dealing with grief and loss. She gets a letter from a friend saying that she knows of this place, that there's a certain room in the house that will let you go to the afterlife and see the people you've lost. Her friend tells her that if she goes there and she's not heard of again, that's what had happened to her. So she goes to investigate what happened to her friend.
But the one thing that they all agreed on is that in that house, there's a room that can take you to the other side, to see the people that you've lost again. The thing is, no one who's gone has ever come back, and that's why I'm writing you. Not for advice, not to get you to talk me out of going. Actually, by the time you read this, I'll already be there. I just wanted to let you know, in case I don't come back. That way you won't be wondering where I've gone. Either way, you don't have to worry about me. I'm sorry, but I don't have any other choice. I just can't keep going on not knowing.
For going with the older style of survival horror, I thought the voice acting was really good. I felt like the actress that played Sam really fit the tone and the themes of what she was going through. For being a horror game and for being a lower graphics game, some of the areas in this game were really beautiful and interesting, and sometimes I just wanted to stop and just take in the scenery. The combat is set up that you have a camera and you put film into the camera, and if you have modern controls like I picked, you look through the camera and shoot pictures of the enemy, and after enough time they'll go away or fade away depending on the enemy type. Going along with a classic survival horror, I went with the old school Silent Hill rules of just avoid all the enemies and save your ammo and your health for boss fights. Unless an enemy is directly in your path and you're not going to be able to get by without taking the photos, I just avoided almost everything. And a combat tip, I highly recommend doing the chess game in her room because it'll give you a mod for your camera that lets you take 3 pictures at once, which is a really great help during the boss fights. The puzzles in this game, some of the puzzles were pretty good and I was able to solve them fairly easy. Other puzzles gave me such a hard time, I don't even know if I would have been able to solve it without getting a hint. Now they do have maps, and the maps will show areas that still have things to collect or things you need to do versus areas that are complete. It took me a long while to understand that the red area, the exploring area, was your current location. I would have preferred a little icon to say this is where you are. But most of the areas were pretty easy to figure out, and I just spent my time memorizing the areas versus using the map. I only really used the map in the last area. Is the survival horror game actually scary or creepy? The camera had this flash feature. So instead of a flashlight, you could flash your camera. And I just found it such a creepy way to provide light. And because you would see everything clearly for a moment and then it would dim into darkness. And I don't know why. I just find it such a creepy way to have light in the game. I'm not going to spoil this one creature in the wilderness location, but I thought it was pretty creepy, the thing that will happen. But for me, the creepy, a little bit scary areas were the final location. I'm not going to reveal that in this video, but man, it would creep me out, some of the things that happen in the final area. One of my favorite things about the game is the music. I made a whole video devoted to the music, so I won't go into too much detail in this video, but I will point out what a great Saving Portal theme, and their music is a lot of haunted melody piano pieces. I'm not going to really spoil the good ending, but I will say I found it very healing for this character that's dealing with grief, loss, and depression. I thought it was a really good ending for her. I did feel like I sort of lucked into the good ending, but as long as you found the thing and did the thing, it's pretty easy to earn. I liked up how you got the bad ending, and it was actually really easy, and I found it interesting that it was kind of the opposite of what the good ending did. I don't want to reveal it, but it was a fascinating bad ending. So I had gotten Heartworm for my birthday from a friend, and for getting it as a gift, absolutely worth my time. It had beautiful music, it had an interesting story, it was great. Now, the normal price is like $14.99, and if you're debating whether you want to play, I got about over 10 hours on it. I did have to go back and redo an area, perform better, so in the next area I would have more health. I will say, if you're going to play this game, I recommend this being the only game you play. I started this game and then I swapped to another game, and when I came back to this game, I completely forgot what I was doing and what I had already done, what I needed to do. So it is better to play the game all the way through and not jump around to other games. But if you're a huge survival horror game fan and you want an experience like the good old days, this game is probably for you. Thanks for watching. Maybe you'll watch more. Maybe the video on the left, maybe the video on the right. If you're on a mobile device and you don't see any videos on the screen, it's in the description.